There was a heavy barrage of information thrown at Mountaineer Nation yesterday. So let's take the time to organize some of that information and talk about what we know so far in regards to the situation in the athletic department at West Virginia. Let's go. What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Jordan Cruz back here with the Country Roads Webcast. And before I get into this video, I just want to give you a quick reminder. Do us a favor if you would. Hit the like button on this video. That'll really help its performance and help future videos' performances as well. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Helps us, helps you, helps get more of this Mountaineer sports content out to Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, let's get into it. All right. So Monday morning, the news broke about the Shane Lyons departure from West Virginia, being forced out as athletic director from the program. And ever since then, it was kind of a whirlwind of a news day for Mountaineer Nation Monday, from the interim being named to having a press conference to Gordon Gee releasing statements to players transferring later in the day. Just all kinds of things happening that I thought it was a little bit kind of hard to keep up with for myself, even. So I know if my head was spinning, a lot of Mountaineer Nation's heads must have been spinning. So let's kind of look and break it down and organize a little bit of this information. I got Gordon Gee's statement here. We can talk about some of the main points of it, some of the main points from Rob Alsop, West Virginia's interim athletic director, the things he said in his press conference, and then the couple players that transferred, tell you who they were and what that may mean going forward. So let's start here. I'm going to share this article. Both of these articles are actually from Yahoo Sports, but I think they linked the Dominion Post in these articles, so from there as well. But this first one is Gordon Gee in regards to his statement, and the other is kind of some of the points from Rob Alsop. But let's start with this Gordon Gee article here. Okay. So yeah, Yahoo Sports, but yes, they're linking the Dominion Post. No change. Gordon Gee came out with supporting Coach Neil Brown and our team as we complete our season over the next few weeks. Gee said, "We are aware there are some deficiencies, but we have not given up on the coach and the team, and they have not given up on each other. The evaluation of the football program will be the first task of our new athletic director, and no changes will be made until that review has been completed." Going on to talk about Garrett Brown. Here's another interesting tidbit that came out from this. WVU has retained the search firm Turnkey ZRG to assist in hiring a new athletic director. They were asked about this Turnkey ZRG, and this may come up in the Rob Alsop article. I'm not 100% sure, but it is the one that the Big 12 used, actually, this same search firm when they were looking for the new Big 12 commissioner, and ended up on Brett Yormark. So who knows how that's going to move out, but that is the search firm West Virginia is using for the athletic director. Gordon Gee plans to move quickly and have a new AD in place in 3 to 4 weeks, which will be after football season has ended. Yeah, if you're looking at this timeline, the regular season for football ends in 2 weeks, and 3 weeks would be December 5th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And so 4 weeks would be about December 12th. And I believe signing day is December 21st, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but looks like they're trying to have a new AD in place before then, so that then maybe they can have a new coach in place before signing day. That would be my thought process with this. Now, who knows? According to Gordon Gee and stuff, the one thing we do know, Neil Brown's going to be here for these next 2 games, or until they have an athletic director, whichever comes first. But I don't believe they'll have an athletic director prior to these final 2 games. We'll see, though. But either way, Neil Brown's going to coach these final 2 games of the season. The new athletic director is going to come in. Their term is he's going to evaluate the football program, see what he wants to do, whether that be keeping Neil Brown for a year and seeing how things go, or cutting ties and bringing in his own staff completely. That's kind of what I expect to happen, but we'll see how that plays out. So that is from Gordon Gee's article. Let me stop sharing this one so that I can share the other Yahoo Sports article I want to share with you guys now. Let me see if I can get it pulled up. This is more detailing about Rob Alsop, West Virginia's interim athletic director, who's been with the program for a while. He's kind of Gordon Gee's right-hand man. So I think the fact that he's named the interim shows you that Gordon Gee was one of the ones that really wanted this move to happen and was kind of forcing this move, so much so that he was able to, convince one of his, right-hand man to hold the job down for 3 to 4 weeks until they got someone in place, because, he goes on to say that he is not going to be a candidate for the job himself. This article also coming from Yahoo Sports, who is linking Dominion Post yet again. Let's see here. WVU names Alsop interim AD, expects new hire in 3 to 4 weeks. Right, we detailed that already. Neil Brown will finish football season. Decision on his future will be made by the new AD. Right, so that's basically just kind of what I just went over. Alsop, just kind of detailing him, native of Webster Springs, two-time graduate of WVU, both a regular graduate, then graduated from the law school as well in 2002. He has been the vice president of strategic initiatives since 2017 for the Mountaineers. During the press conference with the media Monday, Alsop said he is not a candidate for the permanent position and that the university has retained search firm Turnkey ZRG, which we said, and as I said, they detailed that it, was who was used to hire Brett Yormark. So Alsop, not a candidate, just holding down the position in the meantime till someone can get in there and take over the position for sure. And here's, kind of continuing. They wanted to reiterate that Neil Brown is not going to be fired right now. So, they're reiterating Neil Brown's finishing out the season, which is kind of something, if you've been following along here in the Country Roads webcast, I kind of expected all along, just because traditionally West Virginia just does not fire coaches midseason. They've never really done it, and I thought if they didn't do it after the Iowa State game, when there was kind of rock bottom there at that point, they weren't going to do it. We see him, move on from the athletic director, but doubling down on it. Looks like they're keeping the coach for the rest of the season and letting the new athletic director make the decision there. But here's Alsop's statement on that. I know there will be some speculation that this will be the first shoe of two shoes to drop, and I just want to disavow that, Alsop said. This is an independent decision. When you watched the game this weekend, it was pretty clear whether it was the spark with Garrett Green, what Sam James did, or Dante Stills in the defense. Those student athletes have not given up on each other or this season, and they have not given up on their coaches, and neither have we. We have not given up on our head coach, our assistant coaches, or our players. We've got 2 games to go, and we intend, and I intend, during this interim period to support them in any way that I can. So almost echoing the things that Gordon Gee said in regards to supporting the team over these final 2 games. And to me, reading between the lines there, I think that means they're hoping to make a bowl game, and that could play a big part in the evaluation of the football program that the new athletic director is going to conduct. Just my opinion. That's purely speculative there on my part. But yeah, in a statement, Gee said that Brown will finish out the final 2 games of the 22 season, and a decision on his future will be made by the new athletic director. And then, just kind of details Gordon Gee's statement that I brought up in the previous article. So get a little bit further on what Alsop said. We are all not satisfied with the wins and losses of the football program they're referencing, but President Gee and our new athletic director will take an appropriate long-term look at the direction of all the departments of athletics and make a thoughtful decision moving forward. I did talk to Neil late last night and reiterated that same message. I know that's on everybody's mind, but they are not tied together from a fate perspective moving forward. So just letting everyone know that Neil Brown's not being fired in the coming days and not in the next couple of weeks either as well. At least until West Virginia completes their next couple of games. Then we'll see what happens. But I think that here he goes on to continue, armed with the greatest history that WVU has, all of our great facilities, our student athletes, our coaches, and our conference, and importantly, the terrific new deal that our leader, Brett Yormark, has negotiated. This will be a sought-after job, talking about the athletic director job at West Virginia, and I am confident we will find a terrific candidate to be our new leader, Alsop said. We've asked our search firm to cast a wide net for the best candidate for West Virginia University. So a national search is, if you're reading between the lines there, that's kind of what they're pointing out. Alsop goes on, over the past several weeks, we've all been disappointed in wins and losses. And if you know President Gee, he's always looking with an eye towards the future with the way to move the institution forward. It has been over the past few days. This has become a serious consideration of the need to move forward. President Gee is very thoughtful, but he's also action oriented. So this isn't a 6-month plan or anything like that. Just basically stating Gordon Gee's a man of action, saw something that he didn't like and wanted to step in and make a change. Just kind of praising Gordon Gee there. The past few years of college athletics, I've seen a lot of change. President Gee, in thinking about this, decided with the ever-changing landscape, it'd be a good opportunity to find a fresh perspective for the program. Shane's been here for 8 years, and he's done some terrific things. Is what I can say is President G believed excuse me, a fresh perspective was appropriate at this time. Don't know why I can't get that out right now, but um, so basically, what you're getting out of this from Alsop, from Gordon Gee, the main takeaways I think from the things they said are this: Neil Brown's safe for the remainder of the season. That's one. They're looking to hire the new AD within 3 to 4 weeks. Rob Alsop is not a candidate. The search firm Turnkey NRG has been, implemented to help them with that case and to, find that athletic director. It's going to be a national search. And the other aspect of it being, I think they moved on from Shane Lyons. The buzzword has been alternative revenue streams, that they wanted to find something from that. Maybe that's, sponsorships on the jerseys. I don't know what they can do in regards to that. There's naming rights for the Coliseum that are up. I think it's a lot to do with, sponsorship opportunities in areas like that, just different ways that the university itself can earn money outside of what they're getting from the conference. And, maybe that is what goes along with fundraising with the MAC. And then, of course, Country Roads Trust NIL stuff, I think, is going to play a big part in who they go and get. So maybe, we're all talking names for the athletic director, the obvious ones, Rob Mullins and the like, who, of course, is, a favorite candidate of many and is the one that came up myself. But I think maybe that with this search form and wanting a national search and some of the things they're looking for, it could be a name that maybe none of us recognize when they first say it, or we don't expect, because it could be somebody with a background not only in business, but just a different background than what we would expect them to particularly go after. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what West Virginia goes after with this AD hire, or they could end up being able to pull Mullins away from Oregon. I don't know. But what are your thoughts on that? Let us know in the comments about kind of what we came away with yesterday, knowing Shane Lyons gone, Rob Alsop, interim AD, not a candidate for the position, Turnkey NRG, hired as a search firm, expecting to hire within 3 to 4 weeks. Neil Brown safe. The new AD going to conduct evaluation of the football program when he gets here, and then we'll know more about that. Let us know your thoughts on those announcements and who you think West Virginia should target, or maybe an outside candidate that no one's talking about, that they're kind of talking about. I think could be a candidate. Maybe you know someone that no one's brought up, and you can pin it there for us. But let us know in the comments anyone that you're thinking, besides, maybe the obvious names, or even if it is one of the obvious names. We love to hear from you no matter what. And then, of course, the negativity side that comes out from this. One last thing we have to talk about, talking about what we know so far. West Virginia, maybe it's from the, everything in the turmoil that this has caused within the football program and the athletic department. I think specifically in the first transfer that was announced, one of his family members even came out and said as much. You can find that on Twitter, but I will pull up the tweets of the individuals themselves that are entering the transfer portal and share them with you here on screen. But, just be fair warned. This may be the first of many that do this and transfer away from the West Virginia football program. With the athletics department, ever changing right now with the new athletic director coming in, and what also changes may happen within the coaching staff because of that. Who knows? We'll probably see, a heavy transfer off season. So this will be the first of many updates in regard to the transfer portal. And I just kind of wanted to throw them into this video of things we learned yesterday, rather than doing a video on them themselves specifically. But other transfer portal updates, I'll probably do individual videos on those specifically. But let me go ahead and share the video of these two young men decided to transfer away from West Virginia. Their announcements of that on Twitter. Pull both of these up there for you guys, starting with the one that happened earlier, the one that most people probably already have heard about, and that is here. bin-wahad came to the Mountaineers as a defensive back. Could have played safety, could have played corner. Had a lot of high hopes for him. He's played at times this season. I think he had played in 4 games. Maybe they weren't wanting to play anymore and wanting him to redshirt. Nonetheless, after the Shane Lyons announcement, later that evening, or later that day, rather, afternoon, I guess I should say, you see the tweet here coming around 2 p.m., 1:56 p.m., November 14th, 2022. bin-wahad at the bin-wahad on Twitter, if you want to see this for yourself. God's plan. Thank you, West Virginia. A talented true freshman. Here is his tweet there, the picture of it, if you want to read it, if you want to read it yourself there, but I'll read it out to you guys. I would first like to thank the man above. Without him, nothing is possible. To my brothers, I can't thank you all enough for welcoming me and showing me how to do things. I'm forever grateful for you guys, and I'm always a call away. I appreciate the fans of West Virginia allowing me to represent them. Y'all are one of a kind and truly support the gold and blue. I would like to thank all the advisors and staff that have helped and guided me. I would like to thank all the strength coaches for their investment and time into me. Transitioning from high school to the Big 12 isn't easy, but you guys helped me get my body ready to perform. I would like to thank the coaches for recruiting me. With that being said, I plan to enter the transfer portal with 3.5 years of eligibility left. Like I said, I don't have the tweet pulled up, but you can also find later on in some of the subsequent tweets, one of his family members responded talking about he came there to play football and not deal with, other stuff, within the athletic department or something. I'm paraphrasing. Obviously, find the tweet for yourself to know the exact wording and take it the way that you want to take it. But the way that I took it and what I read into it was, with the announcement of Shane Lyons leaving, and maybe they think something's coming with the coach as well. They wanted to move on, which I think, like I said, you're going to see more of this, unfortunately, moving forward. And he was the first of two Mountaineers to do that. Don't want to say either one hurt worse than the other, because I think they're both very talented players that really could have helped the Mountaineers in the future. I think bin-wahad could have been a mainstay at corner. Would have loved to seen him as a starting cornerback in the future. I think with him and Spells together, you could have had something great if both those two could have stuck together. So hate to see him go. But this other one you hate to see leave because it's an in-state product. West Virginia had a run of getting the top recruit in the state, for a couple years in a row now. And Corbin Page was the most recent one of that, the top player, top recruit in the state this past season, a tight end for the Mountaineers. And he was someone that I was, kind of somewhat surprised, I guess you could say, that hadn't got onto the field this season, especially once Mike O'Loughlin went down. And I thought the Mountaineers would need some depth at tight end. We've only seen Traylon Davis and Palindi. We haven't seen Corbett Page, Victor Wickstrom, or any of the other guys there that, have played. But I thought Corbin Page, I thought he had a kind of a ready-made size coming in, but maybe they thought he weren't ready and needed a year. But nonetheless, he was redshirting this year, hadn't touched the field for the Mountaineers, but amidst the turmoil as well, decides to enter the transfer portal. As you see, Corbin Page on Twitter here, his coming late last night, so may not have heard this one yet, but he tweets out as well. First, I would like to thank West Virginia football for the opportunity I was blessed with and having the chance to compete at such a high level. Morgantown has become a special place to me, and I've made great memories and friendships. After talking to family and coaches, I would like to announce that I'm entering the transfer portal with 4 years of eligibility. I'm excited to see what the future holds. So you hate that when you lose an in-state kid, especially one with a ton of potential, was a top player in the state. And, West Virginia looks like they're going to use the tight ends a lot in this scheme moving forward, especially if Garrett Green's at quarterback. We saw a lot of 12 personnel, 2 tight ends on the field at the same time with Garrett Green at quarterback. And who knows if that continues to be the aspect of the West Virginia offense and what happens with the program. Page may have had a great chance to get on the field moving forward. And he's a player that's talented. So I definitely think he'll land on his feet. And, when it's one of West Virginia's own, a state native, you definitely hope that they're able to do that and land on their feet. So hopefully he does. But those two Mountaineers, bin-wahad leaving the defense, Corbin Page leaving the offense, defensive back, and a tight end leaving the Mountaineer roster. So as far as the roster update, West Virginia has lost 3 players from that roster recently. James Gametter, who I will have a video out on the channel if it's not up already. Be sure and look out for that. But he's leaving as well. And then, of course, 2 guys transferring. So it's kind of the first of the off-season updates in a way that always take place that you guys can look out for us from us here on the Country Roads Webcast channel. Just short little news updates about West Virginia players transferring out, West Virginia players transferring in. And I'm going to try and do a better job of having a running total of what the West Virginia roster looks like this offseason for you guys on those individual videos. So be on the lookout for that. But still, 2 games left in the season. We'll see what happens. But there's definitely changes abound in the West Virginia athletic department. And it was a whirlwind of news day. So I wanted to take some time and try and organize what we know so far about the news within the West Virginia athletic department and specifically on the football side of things. So hopefully, I know this helped me a little bit organize it, looking through it that way. So hopefully it helped you guys throughout Mountaineer Nation as well. And if it did, and if you enjoyed it, or even if you didn't enjoy it, just one way to really help us out, and we're really appreciative of it, is if you hit the like button before you head out. It'll help this video's performance, help future videos performances as well. And hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Helps us, helps you, helps get more of this Mountaineer sports content out to Mountaineer Nation. And give us your thoughts on, this whirlwind of news, anything of it that you want to comment on. Drop it down below in the comments. We always appreciate the interaction and talking to you guys as we continue to try and grow the Country Roads Webcast community throughout Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, as always, I'm Jordan Cruz. And until next time, let's go Mountaineers.